Hey, this is Mike with Family Handyman. Now I've got a lot of firewood here and I'm not going to keep it on the ground. So today I'm going to show you how to build a very simple firewood rack to lift it up off the ground, keep it stacked, and I'm also going to show you how to build a canopy to keep it out of the rain. So I'm going to be using green treated 2x4s to build the firewood rack. I'm not looking for anything fancy and I just want to keep it from rotting. For the base, I'm using two 8-foot 2x4s and I'm looking for the straightest in my pile. And I'm just gonna build a simple frame to start. Whenever I'm using 2x4s like this, I always like to trim up the ends because what you get isn't always perfectly square. So I'm cutting the 2x4 into 11-inch pieces, which will hold the two longer 2x4s together and make up the base. So I've got my parts cut, I got the base kind of laid out, I'm ready to screw it together. So now that I've got the base done, I'm going to be working on the uprights, which will eventually support the canopy and hold the wood together. There will be 4 total uprights, and they're each going to be 4 feet tall. So if you're wondering why I'm driving these screws in at a slight angle, it's just because the screws are 3 1/8 inch long and I don't want the tips to point out. So I placed the uprights against the corners of this base here, screwed them in from the outside, and then I placed an additional 11-inch block right up against the uprights. I screwed them to the uprights here and then fastened them in from the outside. Then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So to give these uprights a little bit more support, I'm using a 16-inch board that I've cut some 45-degree angles in, and I'm gonna attach it right to the support and to the base. So you could leave the firewood rack just like this and it'll be totally fine. But I'm gonna be building a canopy just in case you need something to keep the rain off your firewood. So the canopy is built the exact same way as we built the base, although it's slightly wider. That way it'll overhang all of the wood. So the canopy is gonna be attached right to the uprights. So to determine where that's going to be, I'm gonna use a piece of scrap here and line it up flush with the top. I'm also gonna tip it a little bit, about 5 degrees so that the rain falls off. Then I'm gonna mark the bottom. Now, to make it easier to install, I'm then going to attach this block lined up with my mark so that I can set the canopy in place while I screw it. After installing the canopy, I moved on to cutting the roofing panels out of corrugated metal. I overlapped the roofing panels on top of one another and then fastened them with 1-inch rubber gasket roofing screws. There we go. The firewood rack is in place, the wood's stacked, and now it's gonna stay dry. For more projects like this, head to familyhandyman.com.